I am the billionaire owner of the famous brand Salt Life, but you most likely don't know about the horrific acts I committed. My name is Michael Hutto, and this is my story. I co-founded the sticker and clothing company Salt Life, and it became a global phenomenon. I sold my shares of it in 2013, and it made me a very rich man. In 2020, I went to an oceanfront resort on Singer Island with my 18-year-old girlfriend Grace Duncan, who had just graduated high school days earlier. After spending some time at the beach, we went back to the hotel and started to play around. We were pretending to shoot each other with fake finger guns. After a few moments of doing this, I went to my bag and pulled out a real gun. Grace was sitting on the bathroom counter and I pointed it at her. That's when it accidentally went off and shot her, or at least that's what I told police. However, as she laid on the bathroom floor bleeding instead of calling for help, I grabbed my stuff and left her there. I drove for 280 miles until I stopped at a gas station. The gas station worker would later tell police that I was twitching, crying, and making delusional comments, as well as my eyes kept rolling to the back of my head. I was taken to the hospital for a reported overdose. Grace's body was discovered by police the next day after her father called police asking for a welfare check. I was charged with manslaughter and got sentenced to 12 years in prison. Follow for more stories.
On October 22, 2022, shortly after 10 a.m., 30-year-old Nestor Hernandez walked into the Methodist Dallas Medical Center in Texas to visit his longtime girlfriend, Selena Villatoro, who had just given birth to their first child the day before, and to the casual observer it seemed that Nestor was there to visit his newborn son. The truth of the matter, though, was that Nestor was there for a much more sinister reason. He had spent most of the morning drinking at home, and as usual, his alcohol-fueled paranoia got the best of him. He convinced himself that his girlfriend was cheating on him, so despite being on parole and wearing an ankle monitor, he decided that he needed to confront her immediately. As he entered the labor and delivery unit of the hospital with a beer in hand, he made his way to Selena's room, and what would follow was a swift and terrifying escalation of matters. After unsuccessfully searching for the non-existent man he believed Selena was seeing, Nestor suddenly whipped out a gun and repeatedly pistol-whipped Selena. As hospital staff came around to check in on what was happening, Nestor opened fire and tragically killed 2 healthcare workers, and it seemed that he had even more innocent victims in mind.
Can you come out? Over here, please, come out. Come outside. Okay, I'm Robert. What's your name, partner? What's your name? Talk to me. Okay. Okay, listen, we can work this out, partner, okay? All I want to do is just get the people outside, please. We can work this out. Just let them outside, okay?
In 2014, Nestor started dating Selena Villatoro, and the two immediately started fueling each other's bad habits. Selena saw herself as a bit of a gangster chick, and she would very quickly become Nestor's sidekick, a modern-day twist on Bonnie and Clyde. The two were drawn into a world of substance abuse and unlawful deeds, and it's needless to say that the relationship was far from healthy. Nestor and Selena were on a clear path of destruction, which all came crashing down in January 2015. On this day, a woman was in the process of unlocking her apartment in North Dallas when she was suddenly attacked by Nestor and Selena. The woman was struck in the back of the head and pulled to the ground by her hair before the two forced their way into her apartment. Once inside the apartment, they continued to assault the woman, demanding to know where her valuables were. They then tied her up in the bathroom and continued to ransack the apartment, eventually fleeing with a cell phone, the victim's car, and $3,000 in cash from a school fundraiser. Nestor and Selena were eventually arrested that same day, driving in the stolen vehicle, and the police were able to recover a number of items belonging to the woman. Both Nestor and Selena later pleaded guilty to charges of aggravated assault, and they were both handed prison sentences. Nestor was given 8 years while Selena was given 5. Despite being sentenced to 8 years in prison, Nestor Hernandez only served 6, and he was released on parole at the beginning of 2021. He was placed on an ankle monitor and he needed to report his movements to his parole officer. However, Nestor was arrested again in March 2021 after a minor accident investigation, and he was sent back to prison. His stay there would, however, be short-lived, and he was released once again the following month in April 2021 and once again placed on an ankle monitor. Shortly after being released, though, Hernandez cut off his ankle monitor and went into hiding, and despite police launching an all-out manhunt for him, they were still unable to track him down. Then 3 months later, though, in June of that same year, police were attending to a separate drug matter in an apartment complex located at 1910 South Josie Lane. While the undercover police monitored the apartment complex from the parking lot, they suddenly saw a man walk by who resembled Nestor.
Any idea, any man?
I know.
Whose car is this?
It's my mom.
Your mom's car? What's her name? Norman, just give you a heads up while we're stopping you, okay? You look like someone we're looking for. Okay. Right.
Do you know that or no? No. Okay, what's your date of birth, sir? Were you on probation or anything like that, man? No, when did you get released?
Huh?
When did you get
I ain't been solved this.
You haven't been in trouble? My man, listen, okay? You lied to me about your name, okay? I got a picture. That is not you, okay? So I'm telling you right now, before you catch another charge, okay, because you're going to catch another charge.
What picture you get? Can I see the picture you got?
I'm not going to show you the picture that I got, okay? But listen, you're about to catch another charge, okay? Is your name Nestor? Yes, it is. Is that correct?
I just hope my name.
That ain't your name. No, put that cigarette down. Your hands on your back.
Pull up the car,
We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this again, okay? We're gonna do this again.
Just relax, bro.
All right. What is your name?
Nestor, man.
Huh?
Nestor.
Nestor what?
Hernandez.
Perfect. Okay.
Nestor Hernandez was sent back to prison for his parole violation. Despite the fact that he had cut off his ankle monitor and violated parole, authorities decided to release him once again, this time in October 2021, only 4 months later. He was once again placed on an ankle monitor.
It's frustrating. It is almost like we're swimming upstream. Ankle monitors on violent criminals are useless. And so that's what my biggest concern.
Although Nestor had a history of violent crime and parole violations, authorities believed that he'd be able to turn over a new leaf. They thought that he could be rehabilitated, and as long as they monitored his movements, they thought that it would all be fine. Unfortunately, the authorities were very wrong on this one, and almost exactly a year after his release on parole, Nestor would shoot up the maternity ward of the Methodist Dallas Medical Center, leaving 2 hospital workers dead, and Nestor preparing for a mass shooting. On October 21, 2022, Selena Villatoro went into labor and Nestor rushed her to hospital. Selena gave birth to a healthy baby boy, and it was her and Nestor's first child together. Nestor informed his parole officer of the birth of his baby, and he obtained permission to visit Selena and his baby the following morning. On Saturday, October 22, 2022, Nestor Hernandez was up bright and early. He texted Selena around 7 a.m. to find out if the baby was fine, before telling her that he was about to come over. Nestor, however, didn't leave the house until 3 hours later. It's believed that he had spent the morning drinking. At around 10:20 a.m., Nestor Hernandez entered the Methodist Dallas Medical Center in Texas. He casually enters with a beer in his hand and continues to collect a face mask before making his way to Selena's room. He initially goes into the wrong room and comes face to face with 18-year-old Noemia Davia, who had also just given birth. Nestor, who was visibly intoxicated, first thought that Davia was his girlfriend.
He was just standing like in front of me, and he still didn't realize I wasn't the person he was looking for. My boyfriend, he asked him, "Who are you?" And he was like, "I'm Nestor." He was like, "I came to see her." And he looked at me and he still didn't realize.
After leaving Davia's room, Nestor eventually made his way to Selena's room. As soon as he entered the room, he began acting erratically, accusing Selena of cheating and then searching the hospital room for the man that Selena was cheating with. When he unsurprisingly didn't find anyone in the room, Nestor pulled a handgun from his waist and began hitting Selena with the gun a number of times. Selena, who was desperately trying to protect her baby at the time, tried to calm Nestor down and reassure him that there was nobody else, but Nestor didn't want to hear anything. Instead, he told Selena that they were both going to die today, along with anyone who entered the hospital room that morning. A short while later, 45-year-old social worker Jacqueline Pokwa entered Selena's room. She was there on a routine stop to check up on the mother and newborn baby. As soon as she entered through the door of the room, Nestor opened fire. Staff in the hospital immediately heard the loud bang, but didn't expect it to actually be a gunshot. They were curious to see what was going on, and that's when 63-year-old nurse Annette Flowers, who was in the room next door, went around to Selena's room to see what the bang was. But as soon as she peeped through the door, another shot went off, and Nestor had killed her too. He then retreated back into the room and started to reload his weapon, seemingly preparing for a mass shooting. After he reloaded his weapon, Nestor started to make his way out of the room and into the passage. Luckily, through a sheer stroke of luck, only a few rooms away, Sergeant Robert Rangel, who was attending to another matter, heard the gunshots and immediately realized what was happening. He quickly made his way to where the shots were coming from, and at that very moment, he saw Nestor about to exit the room with a gun in hand. Sergeant Rangel set off one shot, which struck Nestor in the leg, causing him to retreat back into the room, and the following standoff unfolded.
Can you come out? Over here, please, come out. Come outside. Okay, I'm Robert. What's your name, partner? What's your name? Talk to me. Okay. Okay, listen, we can work this out, partner, okay? Just throw the gun outside. Throw the gun out, please. Throw the gun outside. Partner, listen to me, man, please. Let them outside. Partner, please, man, just do me a favor. Let them outside, please. Let them outside, please. That's all I'm asking. Let them outside, please. Let them out of the room. Let him outside, please, partner. Partner, we can work this, man. Come on, work with us. Work with us. Work with us, please. Yes, sir, I'm listening. Let him outside, buddy. Come on. Come on, man. You got to give us something. Come on. Hey, McCrill. See if you can get the name to that room number, please. Last name or something. Something I can work with. I'm listening, brother. I'm here. Throw the gun outside, man. Come on. Throw that gun outside, partner. Come on, work with me. Throw that gun out. Come on, man. Come on, Victor. Work with me, man. Come on. Okay. Hands up. Hands up in the air. Hands up in the air, please. Hands up in the air, please. Hands up in the air. Come on. Toss. Hands up in the air, Victor. Come on. Throw the gun out. I give you my word. He ain't got nothing in his hands. Okay. Okay. Victor, throw that gun out, please. Come on. Victor, come on, man. Work with me, man. Work with me. Come on. Come on. You got to come out. You got to give us something. Please, brother. I'm asking you. Come on. We're not going to shoot him. Come up with your hands up in the air. Come on. I just need to see your hands. That's all. That's all I want to see. Your hands up in the air. Talk to me.
Does he have the gun in his hand?
Ma'am, does he have the gun in his hand?
We need the gun out in the hallway. Throw the gun out in the hallway.
out, please. Come on. Come on. Throw it out. Throw the gun out. Okay, throw the gun outside. Throw the gun outside. We need the gun outside. I need the gun outside, please. Victor! Man, where's Victor at? Does he no more gun in his hand?
No, the gun is up in the trash can in the hallway. I put it out there. It's right there, look. It's right there.
Stay on there, hands up, hands up. Okay.
Don't shoot it.
Nestor Hernandez eventually surrendered and he was swiftly arrested. He was charged with capital murder of multiple persons, an offense which carries a minimum term of life in prison and which may result in the death penalty. Nestor Hernandez is currently awaiting trial.
I was Ted Bundy's little brother. We were more than just brothers, we were close friends. I really look forward to spending time with him, which I did a lot of. Spend weekends with him, and summer vacations from school, I'd go live with him for most of the summer vacation. He was living in Seattle, and he'd have me come up there, spend the weekend, a couple of times a month. We'd go over and pick up Liz and Molly and get the raft out, and it would just seem like a really healthy, okay, I got the basket, okay, doodle-doo, here we go. Like the Wally and the Beaver, that's an analogy some people won't understand, but we're really close.
You loved him.
I did love him.
Ted just adored Richard, always wanted to take him places and do things with him. We would frequently go, me and Ted and Molly and Richard, we'd go raft down certain rivers, and so it was a lot of fun, and we did a lot of rafting. I know that Richard looked up to him and kind of held him in awe.
The kind of thing a boy of 12 years old just automatically thinks, like, oh, hey, that person's really awesome and got it together. I'm going to follow what they say. It's like, you can do no wrong. So, yeah. I do have pretty good recollection. I was probably 9 or 10, visiting with him in Utah. He was going to law school, and he had sent me home early. I was really upset with him because it was out of the blue. Said in a way that, like, I just got something really important to do, things are really tough right now. And so I dropped it, I figured, well, it didn't matter what it was. It just upset me that, shoot, man, I was having a good time here with you, I remember when we were at the airport waiting to get on the plane, we were standing by ourselves over by a window, and I looked over at him, and he had this look on his face. He was looking one direction, and I was looking at his profile inside of him, and I don't think he saw me looking at him because I could see this look on his face that he was horrified and disgusted about something. There was never any time that he'd ever changed plans on me like that, so extremely. I think that he felt his urges coming on, knew he was about to go murder somebody, and he had enough responsible attitude to get me out of the picture, so I wouldn't be, involved with it.
Do you remember that camping trip with your brother?
Well, there's several camping trips like that. I looked to be about 9 or 10, maybe 8, right? On one hand, I'm curious about where it is, and I must admit, right now thinking about it, seeing this, on the other hand, I could care less. Kind of sucks to have to say it, but I really wouldn't want this picture. There's no joy in it. Absolutely none. There was then, but not now. You know, he could do a million of these, but it doesn't outweigh one, just one of the victims, you know. One of those people, it only takes one person that he killed to make it all just go to shit, you know. Yeah, I was a teenager when he was arrested, and I didn't really see the escaping as him being full-on guilty. Because, you know, he knew I was a kid. I was just being stupid and naive, you know. I was thinking, like the fugitive story. Richard Kimball ran away to find the real killer. You know, probably what I was thinking. And at the same time, a part of me was just blocking it out, going, dude, whatever it is, you can't do nothing about it. Don't let it ruin your life. You know, there's a part of me trying to protect myself from all the pain by just saying, man, just go outside and ride your skateboard. Fuck him. You know, if he's guilty, then scumbag gets what he gets, you know. Come on into my abode, my home. Some things make me really depressed in a almost debilitating way, where I will sit in this chair for days. I'll sometimes stay in this camper for 2-3 days at a time. I don't know. I'm not really afraid of not having a normal life. I've gotten used to life being kind of a bit of you have to kind of jimmy rig your way through life sometimes. I don't recommend it to everyone to live your life precariously, but if I know I have enough to keep shelter and food for my cat and I, that's the most important thing.
Bella and Celeste.
See, when he mentioned his kids' names, Bella and Celeste, he closed his eyes. It's hard to know how much regret he actually feels about that, or if he is happy about that, but something about bringing up their names, that's a point that's going to be much harder for him to talk about. I don't think he has any regret whatsoever about killing his wife at this point. And he may have no regrets about killing his children, but that one seemed to evoke more of a response. Watch his eyes after this again.
I mean, she wasn't here. The kids weren't here. Nobody was here.
What's your wife's name?
Shanann. S-H-A-N-A-N-N.
What's your kids?
Bella and Celeste.
You see that eye close?
C-E-L-E-S-T-E.
And he's doing it again. When he's talking about his kids, he keeps closing his eyes.
How old are your daughters?
4, Bella's 4, Celeste is 3.
And so...
Alright, see, he's withdrawing his lips. Oftentimes, when we want to try not to say something, we withdraw our lips. So right now, this, for whatever reason, is more precarious than talking about his wife, talking about his kids. He's just trying to remind himself not to say something. This means that he's feeling more when talking about them.
How many times did you try calling her?
I called her 3 times, texted her about 3 times just to say, you know, what's going on. Like, because after I called her and texted her once, it's like, maybe she was just busy, like she had just gotten back, you know, like everybody's probably calling her from her trip. She just got back.
Now don't read too much into that. So he scratched his face, he's outdoors, there could be bugs, there could be all sorts of stuff. It's the kind of thing to pay attention to if it keeps happening, but just happening once doesn't mean much. I'll go back to show you again, because I also want you to know what doesn't mean anything.
Maybe she was just busy, like she had just gotten back, you know, like everybody's probably calling her from her trip. She just got back from Arizona, and I figured she was just busy. But when her friend showed up, that's what was like, it registered like, all right, this isn't right.
One thing he's doing very well, he's nodding his head yes and shaking his head no a lot, along with what he's saying, which could make him seem more convincing. So that, for a liar, is actually a very good skill to have.
Do you think she just took off? Do you think...
I mean, right now I don't even want to just like throw anything out there. Like, I hope that she's somewhere safe right now and with the kids.
All right, so Once again, when he's forced to lie, he's more likely to close his eyes. This is not unusual. Sometimes people just squint. He outright closes his eyes. But the reason that's important is that that's his tell. Some people have more tells than others. And so you've got to figure out what each person's tell really is.
But, I mean, could she event? Could she just take it off? I don't know. But if somebody has her and they're not safe, like, I want them back now. Like, that's what...
See, once again, there's the eye close. I want them back now. Close his eyes because he doesn't want them back now.
And they're not safe, like, I want them back now. Like, that's what's in my head. Like, if they're safe right now, they're going to come back.
If they're safe right now, they're going to come back. He knows they're not, so he knows they're not coming back. It's an interesting way for him to phrase that.
But if they're not safe right now, that's the not knowing part. Like,
and he's starting to smile more.
If they're not safe, last night I had every light in the house on. I was hoping that I would just ran over by the kids running in the door and just like barrel rushing me, but it didn't happen. And it was just a traumatic night trying to be here.
The smile's getting bigger. It's getting more obvious.
I'm going to ask some kind of tough questions.
And there he goes. I'm going to ask some tough questions. He's telling himself to make sure not to say anything stupid. Make sure to hide that mouth. Make sure to keep your mouth shut.
With the kids.
Yeah,
watch this again.
Over by the kids running in the door and just like barrel rushing me, but it didn't happen. And it was just a traumatic night trying to be here.
What a disgusting smile. I mean, truly, feels so relieved by people not being there. He really is starting to smile.
I'm going to ask some kind of tough questions. Your relationship with the kids.
And also, him hiding his lips, that could also be recognizing that he was smiling. It could be either one, and that's what you have to do with.
Man, Alexi Trevizo might really want to consider showing her face at the NMSU campus. There's this group chat with like hundreds of students. It's the class of 2025 NMSU. Anyway, they have been posting all kinds of stuff like this. Somebody took a screenshot off of this Instagram and said, nah, she coming here? And then this person said, fucking disgusting on NMSU's behalf. She may have the right to an education, but we have freedom of speech. This one says, am I crazy for being super uncomfortable with Alexi Trevizo coming to NMSU? And this one, and you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if that did happen. And not just that, but the students don't want her there so much that they actually have a petition for NMSU to rescind her acceptance and kick her out. And I gotta say, whoever wrote it, they did a damn good job. It is very well written and organized. Look, they even reference research studies and reputable organizations such as the National Center on Child Abuse and Neglect. Look at this part. By denying Alexi Trevizo entry into New Mexico State University or any other educational institution within our state, we can prioritize both public safety and ethical standards. I mean, whoever did this, they did a fantastic job. They even cite their sources at the bottom. So yeah, the judge might have given her permission to go to the campus to take her exams, but the students are saying hell no.
En los dedos. Cada vez que te pienso, se disipan mis miedos. Me gusta cuando bailas así. Cuando vengas, calla. Cuando vengas, no me avises.
What? What's wrong with you? What? Took my daughter. Parker? Please, let me inside. Parker!